Welcome back to the news tonight. Well, the big news we are breaking at this moment is that the 6 ministers of the DMK have pulled out of the UPA government, and the Congress and the DMK could not agree on a seat sharing after 3 rounds of talks. And the DMK held a high-level committee meeting there, as you can see, with Chief Minister Karunanidhi and Anbaragan to his left there, and other senior party leaders T.R. Balu and the Deputy Chief Minister M.K. Stalin, Alagiri and even Kanimori was in fact part of this meet to decide its alliance with the Congress, and the DMK's resolution has decided to pull out, saying that they are extending only issue-based support to the UPA government now. Now, the UPA's government could UPA government's strength could significantly come down with DMK pulling out its MPs from the ruling coalition. In fact, it has 6 members in the union cabinet, including Dayanidhi Maran and Alagiri, who have now withdrawn their support from the UPA government. These are those pictures from that meeting. The Chief Minister Karunanidhi, in fact, had said that the Congress's stand had surprised him, and that he had decided to relieve themselves from the government, and that the DMK's resolution is that the Congress's stand does not help for an amicable poll accord. Now, this could come as a severe strain in the DMK and Congress relationship, and for the DMK as a party, in fact, because the coming elections which is scheduled for the 13th of May, this could severely cause strains that have, and it is one of the biggest strains that we have seen in the 7 years that the DMK and Congress have within their alliance. And as a reporter spoke to some of the leaders and the spokespersons there, the DMK spokesperson Ilangovan in fact has said that the Congress put them under pressure, and Karunanidhi has in fact affirmed that, saying that it was the Congress which led them to believing that they were not wanted in the government. We in fact spoke to political commentator Mr. Nyani earlier, and this is what was his reaction, and he said that the DMK was overreacting in this situation. Let's listen to him.
The DMK is over desperate and is overreacting because if the seat share is not coming through, you can simply say there is no alliance. What makes them withdraw the support there and remove themselves from the cabinet? There is no need at all, which means it shows only the desperation in arm twisting the Congress. But Congress is taking its decision a little too late. It should have grabbed the offer from Amma right then DMK would have been much in a bigger swoop. Right now, Congress's options get limited. DMK's calculation is very simple. They were waiting for Vijaykanth to fight separately so that the anti-DMK votes would get split. When Vijaykanth aligned with Jayalalitha, DMK knew that anti-DMK votes are going to get consolidated. So now they are kind of using Congress now to split the anti-DMK votes. Once anti-DMK votes get split between Congress on one end and Jaya happen on the other end, DMK can gain by the split. So this is the DMK strategy. As of now, it is advantage to DMK. And Congress and AIDMK can even come for a tacit understanding now. So as of now, with DMK out of the cabinet in the center, Congress's hands have become free to pursue the spectrum issue much more. They are not anymore bound by the coalition dharma, as Manmohan Singh earlier said. So which means, like DMK has tried to arm twist Congress, Congress can now arm twist DMK with more spectrum cases which can directly land in the house of the Chief Minister Karunanidhi. We will find it quite difficult if Congress decides to go one step further and tighten the noose around the DMK leadership on spectrum issue. And Congress can do this only if it is sure about a tacit understanding with the ADMK group. So in the coming days, we should look for what kind of understanding Congress reaches with the ADMK. Congress may even try to wean PMK out of the DMK fold by offering one ministry to PMK Supremo's son.
And we were in fact joined by Janata Party President Dr. Subramanian Swamy. Let's listen to what he had to say when this news was breaking.
But they have not pulled out support. They have diluted their support by saying it's issue-based and they won't be ministers. But I don't know whether this is brinkmanship or not, because there are not only seat problems between DMK and Congress, but the question is about the summoning of both Karunanidhi's daughter and wife on the 2G spectrum matter. which the Prime Minister has been pleading he has no control because the CBI is under court monitoring. But he is not very prepared to do it. And when Ghulam Nabi Azad was there, this was an issue discussed. So therefore, I think it appears to me leadership until actually the March 19th, the first day of polling comes, of the election process comes. I will not believe that this is a serious political change. Well, corruption is issue number one in Tamil Nadu, and I don't know whether the people are going to vote candidate-wise or party-wise. And I personally feel there will be a highly fragmented mandate this time because people are fed up with all the formations which have been ruling alternatively in the state.
Right, to bring our viewers up to speed now, what has been happening from post the high-level committee meeting that the DMK held at Anna Arivalayam today is that the DMK has withdrawn its support from the UPA government, saying that it will extend only issue-based support. 6 of the DMK's ministers have withdrawn themselves from the union cabinet now. So what really came up to this decision? So what exactly was the DMK upset over with? It was just last night that Chief Minister Karunanidhi in fact had issued a statement saying that it was unfair of the Congress to demand 63 seats in the assembly elections. The two parties had convinced each other of 60 seats, but the Congress in fact now wanted 63 seats, and which is what the DMK chief was in fact upset about. And let's in fact go back to our political reporter Lokpriya, who joins us live from Anna Arivalayam now. Well, Lokpriya, earlier you were telling us that there was a lot of celebrations in the DMK camp. A lot of party workers were in fact celebrating. So is it a mood that they no longer want the support of the Congress?
Well, yes, this is what as soon as this resolution came out in the open, the DMK workers, or rather the party cadres, were extremely upbeat, and they were happy with the verdict given by the party chief. The verdict was decided by the party chief, and they actually celebrated the verdict. And they say that they will go alone, and they will go without the Congress support and will win in the assembly election. That were the sentiments echoed by the partymen here at Anna Arivalayam. If you actually carefully analyze this political fallout that has taken place this evening, that we are tracking, the big breaking news, it is kind of a catch-22 situation for both the DMK and the Congress. If you see, the DMK has very, very carefully, or Karunanidhi has very carefully worded the resolution, saying that he will offer conditional support to the DMK, to the Congress government at the center. So, what it indicates indirectly is that he will offer support. He's not completely telling that he will withdraw from the government. He's saying that he will offer conditional support to the government, which means that in one way or the other, the DMK needs the Congress support here in the state, because now at present they are in the alliance. At present, the Congress is part of the DMK alliance at the state. So if the Congress suddenly decides to withdraw its members, then the DMK will become a minority government, and in that case, a president rule will have to be imposed. So the DMK chief definitely will not want to go to election under the president's rule. So very, very carefully he is worded that he will give issue-based support. So for those issues that are very, very critical, for example, the budget session is coming up where the budget needs to be passed, the resolution has to be accepted. So in that case, the Congress needs these magic numbers, the DMK's support to pass the resolution. So probably in matters like those, the DMK will offer issue-based support to the Congress. So that's what the DMK chief very, very cleverly has pointed out. And in fact, if you see, the Congress now, it really finds itself in a very, very tight spot, because it's now too late for the Congress to actually go with the AIDMK now that the DMDK has sealed the alliance with the AIDMK. So it's kind of very late for the Congress to go with the AIDMK. So only two options that are left for the Congress right now is either to battle it all alone in the 234 constituencies, or try and make the DMK try and again make the DMK have a discussion with them again. If it's deciding to go alone in the 234 constituency, it's quite risky for them because considering they have only about 10% of vote share in Tamil Nadu, it's going to be a little difficult for them to battle it out all alone because several outfits in Tamil Nadu are against the Congress, primarily for the fishermen, Sri Lankan fishermen, for not taking any action on the killing of the Sri Lankan fishermen and also about the LTTE. So little disfavoritism shown for the Congress by the Tamil people over here in that particular regard. So if they are going to fight it alone, it's going to be very, very difficult for them. Now, if we come to the DMK side, it's again going to be difficult for them also because the Congress does hold considerable vote bank in the southern side of Tamil Nadu, especially in Pudukkottai and all those places. So now that's where the DMK is going to feel the brunt. And it's going to be extremely difficult for both the parties. As I said, catch-22 situation really. So that's the word. So that's how it is. Very, very intense, and anything can possibly happen. Politics in Tamil Nadu can't get bigger than this, and all these only indications that this upcoming elections, assembly elections, is going to be something that Tamil Nadu has not ever seen in the longest time. Something that can throw up a lot of surprises and which can leave the state as well as the ministers baffled.
Right, Lokpriya, that is, in fact, we are still waiting for a reaction from the Congress. None of them have come up and spoken yet, probably caught by surprise. Thanks very much for joining us with all those details there. The big news on this hour and the political reactions will continue on NDTV Hindu. We will bring you more reactions and updates on this breaking news. Stay with us until then.